Welcome into Boxing Scene's top stories here on ProBox TV. Scan the QR code below to get the ProBox TV app and stay up on all of your boxing news. Right now, the news in boxing. Terence Crawford became the latest four-division champion at the expense of Israel Madrimov, taking his 154-pound title last Saturday in the biggest card of certainly the year, maybe of all time. The question is the money fight coming against Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds? That is the question. To answer it, of course, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri joining us. I got to go with the champ, Paulie Malignaggi first. When you look at that 168 pounds, that is a big gap between what we saw Saturday and the difficulty in finishing Madrimov. Fight went to decision. Will that dissuade a lot of fans from buying into this mega fight?
In some ways, but I think this is the kind of fight that, has that crossover appeal. Both of these guys are big stars. Canelo is obviously a big crossover star. Crawford has developed that, crossover ability little by little, especially with the help of Turki Al-Sheikh with these, a card like this, I think, puts him really out there as well. People were talking about it. It sold well from what we were told. And, Crawford continues to win at the highest level and creating more and more curiosity about such a quote-unquote fantasy fight. I think ultimately it's a fight that probably happens. I am not sure Crawford is physically big enough to handle a Canelo. I'm not sure he was able to get the respect of Madrimov consistently enough when Madrimov was coming forward. So how do you stop the pressure of Canelo, who obviously brings even more pressure and can be even more physically strong and bigger? I think Madrimov is a better fighter than Canelo as far as the dynamic and the versatility he had. But I think Canelo's pressure and ability to cut off the ring is more, and he's bigger and stronger. And I think there's a risk there for Crawford. But this is why you tune in, right? Crawford keeps doing the amazing, and you want to end up saying, will he be able to do that once again against a Canelo? And crossover fans will buy into it.
Leonard Hagler, for those who are old enough to remember, two giant names in different weight classes that came together. Chris, is it a similar kind of thing for you where the name sells the fight, not necessarily size, not necessarily X's and O's? What's your thought on it?
Absolutely, especially when you're talking about casual fans or crossover fans. It's not the boxing hardcores who you're trying to get, because the numbers, this is still a niche sport. So the hardcore fans aren't as big as a group as the casuals or the crossover appeal that we're looking for. That's what sells the major pay-per-views. All of the biggest pay-per-views in the world had big name guys. De La Hoya, Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor is not even in this sport. It's one of the biggest pay-per-views of all time. So that crossover appeal matters more than the actual matchup, whether they're in the same weight class. Most people don't even know what weight classes these guys are in. So when you have two stars like this, Canelo, tons of crossover appeal, has been the money face, the money train of boxing for a number of years now. Crawford is now coming into his own with that crossover appeal with the help of Turki Al-Sheikh. And, Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, I think, did a great job in promoting, quiet promoting for Terence Crawford during this fight card, talking about how much appeal he has, to regular people, him as a father, him as someone who gives back to the community, on top of obviously his skill set. And he's got such a vast highlight package of all he's done, and his resume speaks for itself. And now we've got a lot of celebrities who are tuning into these kinds of fights. This last fight, this past weekend had a litany of Hollywood stars all throughout. You got Eminem walking out Crawford, who apparently they have a relationship now. So you're going to get a lot of crossover appeal with this fight. And obviously there's going to be tons of money all around these guys, regardless of Turki Al-Sheikh. It's two major players in the game today. You've got the money train, the face of boxing in terms of the money, and then you have the face of boxing in terms of pound-for-pound status. And you put them together. I think it's a can't miss in terms of being able to produce pay-per-views and sell to the public. Now, is the fight going to be the best fight that could be made today? Probably not. The size difference is massive. Crawford is extremely skillful, but he's still 36, turning 37 soon. Canelo Alvarez is multiple weight classes above. So that can leave a little bit to be desired to the hardcores. But in terms of casuals, this fight sells.
Well, it's one of those things where you can return a used car that doesn't work. You can return a meal that isn't cooked the right way. You can't return a pay-per-view. It's about the sell job itself, because once you buy it, can't take anything back. As you said, Chris, it's one of those things where we might not get the end product that we wanted, but the names will sell it in the beginning. That's what news is all about. We brought it to you here on ProBox TV. Top stories. We'll see you next time. For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play.